Pay close attention, my dearest child, because this message is not intended for all recipients. It was whispered right to you. Archangel Michael is currently standing beside you, sword lowered and wings open, waiting to see if you will accept this in silence and faith. A divine shift is taking place today. This is an impossible scenario. This serves as confirmation. What you are about to enter is a place of power, protection, and promise. However, there is a warning that you must not ignore. Pay close attention. You are the chosen one at this time, not because you are better than others, but because your spirit has been tested, refined, and ready. According to Archangel Michael, you are on the verge of achieving health and wealth, not only financially, but also in terms of divine alignment, clarity, peace, and strength. Your mind will be elevated, your body will respond to heaven, and your resources will multiply. However, this blessing is fragile in its early stages, much like a flame that must be shielded from the wind. This is why the warning is clear. If you reveal it to anyone too soon, you risk losing everything. This is not a matter of fear, dear one, but of wisdom. This is because not everyone applauds when you ascend, and not everyone prays for your healing. Archangel Michael reveals that silence is your shield at this time, and some people smile while secretly questioning what God is doing to you. It is critical to protect the unseen structure that God is building until it is completely established. Today marks the start of a divine window through which your health begins to realign. Long-term fatigue, stress, and heaviness fade, and your body receives instructions from heaven on how to heal, restore, and renew. Some of you may notice minor changes, such as better sleep, clearer thoughts, sudden motivation, or a resurgence of strength. Avoid discussing or questioning it. Instead, quietly absorb it. At the same time, wealth is being deposited, not rushed, stolen, or coerced, but deposited. Chances will begin to manifest. Concepts will become clearer, and previously closed doors will appear to be unlocked. However, Archangel Michael warns that the enemy is very aware when blessings are spoken prematurely. As a result, at this time, discretion is the best course of action. My child, understand this reality. Not everyone requires knowledge of God's promises. For example, Jesus kept his silence before his breakthrough moments, and David was sworn in as king, but remained silent. Silence does not postpone the blessing. Instead, it protects it. At the moment, I encourage you to enshrine this word in faith as your spirit resonates with it. Bubble. Typing Amen in the comments section confirms that you agree with the divine plan for your life and protection. Archangel Michael promises that if you follow this divine secret, your blessing will be secure indefinitely. This does not imply isolation. Rather, it indicates discernment. However, avoid hurling this pearl at people who are unable to bear its weight. Talk to God, talk to the heavens, and pray. This message is accompanied by a straightforward but effective assessment. Do you have enough faith in God to stay silent? In addition, can you resist the urge to explain, demonstrate, or declare? Individuals who pass this exam move quickly up the favoritism hierarchy, whereas those who fail frequently face excessively long wait times. You may have already sensed it, a joy too sacred to publicly express, a mix of caution and excitement. The Holy Spirit is confirming his statement through that sensation. Your healing will not be accompanied by noise or disorder, but by divine timing, peace, and order. Heaven will alert you to the appropriate time to speak through results rather than words. Archangel Michael is currently close to you, ensuring that what is rightfully yours is protected before you even realize it. Keep your feet on the ground, be grateful, and act in accordance with your faith until then. Drink water on purpose, take breaks when your body tells you to, and push yourself in your current endeavors, because even the smallest acts of obedience contribute to significant, invisible changes. Your spirit was prepared to receive this message, so it was delivered to you. Most people would have dismissed or ignored the situation, but you persisted and listened. This alone convinces Archangel Michael that he can trust you. This is critical to remember. The gift that God is about to bestow on you does not require validation. Rather, it requires protection. Silence now leads to celebration, whereas secrecy now leads to security. Recognize this quietly, ensure its security, and monitor the outcome. Take a deep breath as you listen to this layer. Archangel Michael is currently discussing what will happen after today's events have started to affect you. Many people believe that blessings are accompanied by immediate confirmation and loud noises. However, heaven usually operates in the opposite way. The events in your life will appear calm from the outside, but they will be unstoppable on the inside. This is how you will know that it is truly from God. According to Archangel Michael, the first sign of this transformation will be an internal shift. Your thoughts will naturally begin to change. The weight of worry will lift, and old fears about your finances, body, and future will begin to fade. You may not be aware of it at first, but you will eventually realize that the thing that used to make you panic no longer has any influence over you. This is no coincidence. It is a divine realignment. Your health will gradually change, not in a dramatic or abrupt way, but from within. This is because your body has been listening to every word you've said to it for years, whether positive or negative. The script is currently being rewritten by heaven. According to Archangel Michael, your cells respond to peace, and stress is eliminated at its source as you rest, sleep, and even breathe more deeply. So, do not try to speed up this sacred process by comparing yourself to others. Simultaneously, wealth, energy, or divinely ordered provision is moving toward you. However, you must remain vigilant. It will not be accomplished through desperation, but rather through consensus. Archangel Michael is directing your actions to keep you from wasting your time and energy. You will feel a sense of urgency to make decisions, avoid distractions, and focus on a single task rather than several. This narrowing yields precision rather than loss. Some of you may want to organize your finances, streamline your daily routines, or declutter your home. This is not just a coincidence. Initially, God removes the disorder to help you develop. The order facilitates the receipt of additional items. It is critical to pay close attention to these gentle instructions, as even minor acts of obedience can yield significant rewards. Please listen to this warning with compassion. Do not seek approval from others during this time, as your mindset will improve as you feel better and opportunities will arise. You will be tempted to provide an explanation, hint, or test reactions, but you should resist this urge. According to Archangel Michael, silence remains your safeguard. The blessing is still in the process of laying its groundwork, and premature exposure undermines the progress that is being made. In addition, your emotions are being addressed. Old wounds that you thought were insignificant are being addressed by God, which is why memories may unexpectedly resurface, not to cause pain, but to liberate you. Allow them to cry if necessary, as the healing process is not always easy, but it is always for a good reason. Be aware, chosen one, that not everyone in your vicinity intends to accompany you to your destination. As a result, some relationships will inevitably end, while others will feel distant and uninterrupted. Do not seek explanations, because God's act of mercy is not punishment, but rather a transformation of one's surroundings that occurs when one is elevated. Archangel Michael is also improving your discernment. You will learn when to speak up, when to remain silent, when to move, and when to wait. Your health and wealth will be protected by this inner knowing. Do not let fear or logic undermine your faith in it. I expect you to take action now that this message has reached the deepest levels of your being. I don't mean this as a burden, but rather as a point of convergence. If this term resonates with you and you feel calm rather than disoriented, please perform this simple act of consent. Please distribute this message to someone who needs it without disclosing your own blessing. Also, please refrain from leaving comments about your personal circumstances. Alternatively, you can leave a comment to express your religious beliefs. If you have not already subscribed, you should do so immediately because these messages are not sent at random. Rather, they are sent at the appropriate time. No, your assistance is more than just assistance. It is an active participation. Through interaction, you establish a connection with the flow of this message, allowing it to be transmitted to those actively seeking confirmation through silent prayer. Archangel Michael warns that time is running out. The whisper that began has progressed. However, consistency is required for advancement. Therefore, it is critical to remain present, open, and grounded. You may be curious about the length of this process. However, heaven does not function on the basis of impatience. Certain outcomes will occur quickly, while others will emerge gradually over time. Do not judge progress solely on its rate. Rather, evaluate it in terms of tranquility. If peace is progressing, you're on the right track. I'd like to emphasize this point before getting into the details. The following events will bring together all of your current experiences. However, a large number of people fail to recognize it due to a sudden loss of concentration. You must listen to Archangel Michael's next statement, as it will provide clarity and change everything. Now, my beloved, the message takes on even more significance, as Archangel Michael informs us of the reason for the secrecy surrounding this blessing, as well as the secrets protected by the silence. You are experiencing a shift in the covenant level. Covenant blessings are consistently concealed before they are revealed. Archangel Michael asserts that your destiny has been surrounded by unseen resistance for a long time. This is not due to your vulnerability, but to the value of the items you own. The adversary does not waste time attacking barren landscapes. The stress you felt in previous seasons, the delays that no one could explain, and the unexpected setbacks that occurred just as things appeared to be coming together were not arbitrary. They indicated that something valuable was growing within you. Allow this to permeate your consciousness. Today did not only open one door, but also permanently closed others. Your family's long-standing financial struggles are being disrupted, and cycles of sickness, exhaustion, and emotional heaviness are coming to an end. However, privacy is required for sealing. There should be no doubt, anger, or opinion that can alter what the divine has sealed. Archangel Michael is showing you that the words spoken by certain people in your vicinity may be motivated by fear, despite their apparent love for you. They are skeptical of positive news and believe that past failures will prevent future promises from being fulfilled. Silence is not rejection in this case. Rather, it is preservation. Your body is responding to this protection because stress is one of the most harmful factors to your health and thrives in the presence of noise. The nervous system remains in survival mode because of the constant need to defend, explain, or prove. Heaven is quieting the environment to help your body heal internally. This is a demonstration of divine intelligence in action. Additionally, wealth is being monitored. According to Archangel Michael, the next stage of provision requires confidence, focus, and clarity. Comparison is the result of pre-exposure. This season is characterized by discretion, as comparison creates uncertainty, disrupting the flow. At the right time, your results will be more persuasive than any announcement. Also, a spiritual inheritance is being activated. Some of you are the first in your family to reach this level of alignment with God, breaking silent agreements formed out of fear, lack, or survival. This type of breakthrough is typically low-key at first, but it is later met with surprise due to its rapidity. In today's world, it is not uncommon to feel more cautious about the language you use. You are not becoming more distant, but rather more selective. Archangel Michael is increasing your awareness and teaching you when to speak up and when to remain silent. This information will ensure your safety for an extended period of time after the season ends. If you're paying attention, the following truth will make you wonder if anything is really changing. This is because the transformation begins within you first, before it manifests externally. Faith is required at this point. Make sure your feet remain on the ground. Faith is distinguished by quiet trust rather than outright confidence. If you are going through this transformation, express it aloud right now. Archangel Michael claims that heaven is watching your reaction to this secret not as a form of punishment, but as a means of preparing you, as only those who are capable of fulfilling their commitments can be trusted to do so. Type, "I receive this quietly and fully" in the comments section, and let your spirit align with the message that heaven is already sending. You're currently demonstrating that. At the end of this message, a sacred activation is occurring. This is not appropriate for all individuals. It is only intended for people who are feeling calm and confident right now. If this message speaks to you, please indicate in the comments section that you receive it in silence. The blessing code 944 was recently made available to the public. I feel compelled to speak directly to those whose hearts are currently on fire, because this divine secret is being kept for your life. Supporting this endeavor not only benefits a channel, but also facilitates the transmission of light to those who are currently in darkness and are waiting for a message like this. I will cause rivers to rise in drought-stricken areas as you settle on fertile land, declares the Lord. This is not the normal course of action. It is a prophetic response. You are on the verge of entering a fortunate future. Jesus' statement, "Give and heaven will open over you," is not a poem. Every seed you sow grows into oil for your future, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. My sweetheart, the moment has come for you. Have faith, and you will see God multiply the possessions you relinquish. Archangel Michael is currently informing you of the consequences of your continued silence, which will have an impact on your future. The mood has shifted once more toward my chosen one. During this phase, many people inadvertently harm themselves. They are not responsible for any wrongdoing. Rather, they are unaware of God's actions beneath the surface. To avoid any loss, you are being brought to consciousness. Archangel Michael says this season isn't about speed. It refers to stability. Whatever God is creating within you must endure. Under stress, both an excess of health that lacks inner alignment and an excess of wealth that lacks wisdom frequently dissipate in the same way. This is why some items in heaven are moving at a slower rate than others. Although it may not appear to be much going on from the outside, the interior is undergoing complete reconstruction. You may notice that your response style is evolving. Things that once consumed your emotions are no longer as emotionally draining, and people who used to make you feel insecure now appear distant and insignificant. No, it's not numbness. It is improving. When the soul feels secure, the body follows suit, according to Archangel Michael. This suggests that your nervous system is relearning how to feel safe. This is one of the most profound forms of healing. Additionally, your concentration is improving. You're becoming more mindful of your time, energy, and thoughts, and distractions are losing their appeal. This is critical because accuracy is required to arrive at your desired destination. Chaos is not a blessing from God. He blesses order, which originates in the mind. Despite being surrounded by others, you may feel isolated at times. Do not be concerned about this. When you're alone, you can gain a clear understanding of what needs to be done. Discernment is difficult when everything is chaotic, which is why heaven is drawing you in before expanding you outward. Archangel Michael frequently communicates in silence rather than with sound. Pay close attention. This phase will include subtle tests, limited opportunities to complain, spread rumors, and express more than you should. This was not an accident. These are checkpoints. Every time you choose to be patient, rather than act on impulse, you strengthen the protection around your blessing and move closer to fulfillment. Your health journey is also entering a stage of collaboration. God is already taking action, but He wants your help. You may feel compelled to change minor habits, drink more water, or rest more deliberately. These nudges are not random. Archangel Michael claims that following these simple instructions will speed up the healing process that is currently underway. The seeds you planted years ago, such as hard work, patience, learning, and honesty, are starting to sprout in the world of finance. The pressure beneath you is increasing, though you may not have seen any results yet. That pressure is what causes the seed to sprout at the appropriate time. Thus, avoid uncovering it through doubt. Allow it to develop. If this phrase speaks to you, consider sharing it with someone in need of encouragement. When you do, the anointing on it grows stronger, and your own breakthrough spreads throughout the network. Avoid making comparisons this season. Observing people who appear to be ahead of you can cause unnecessary stress. However, it is important to remember that their schedules and responsibilities differ from yours. Your route has been customized to fit your preferences. Archangel Michael claims that what others take years to achieve can be accomplished suddenly by you thanks to your quiet perseverance. In addition, you are gaining emotional maturity. You are gaining the understanding that not all emotions and thoughts require expression. Individuals rarely reach this level of maturity. One of the reasons you were chosen for this level of blessing is God's deep trust in you. That is confirmation if you have ever had a weight lifted from your shoulders without a valid reason. It also confirms whether you have ever felt an immediate sense of calm after a long period of stress. It is also confirmation if you have ever felt a quiet confidence that replaced anxiety. Right now, there is no shouting in heaven. Sealing is underway. Archangel Michael promises that external confirmation will come soon, something tangible and quantifiable. Until then, your responsibilities are straightforward. Maintain your composure. As a result of gratitude, the channel continues to operate. Silence protects the blessing, and discipline strengthens the foundation. Do not underestimate the significance of events that occur during this phase, but are not visible to the naked eye. Many people only remember what is visible, but the work that is invisible ensures that the visible survives. You are preparing for a stress-resistant object. Extend the scope of this message. You do not anticipate a life transformation. It is already evolving, and you are only now catching up to heaven's decisions. Remain steadfast, refrain from speaking out, and be consistent. The following information provided by Archangel Michael will help you understand the connection between your previous challenges and your upcoming reward. Dear one, Archangel Michael would like to emphasize something that is frequently overlooked. the point at which change is irreversible. You are currently transitioning into this phase. It's no longer just about prepping. It also discusses the process of becoming. The foundation that God has been laying within us is becoming so deeply embedded that it is impervious to events, opinions, and temporary delays. According to Archangel Michael, this is the place where your identity is restored. There is no longer a significant level of anxiety about your identity. You are beginning to understand. This knowledge is not shouted. It promotes tranquility. It provides stability. It affects how you enter rooms, manage stress, and behave when you are unsure about the outcome. You may be unaware of it at first, but others will notice. They will have a vague impression of something special about you that they are unable to identify. Your health recovery is moving from improvement to strength. So, weakness is being replaced with resilience. Your body is now learning to regulate stress in areas where it used to respond to it. This is why you may notice a gradual return of your energy rather than a sudden surge. God is constructing you in a way that will last. Archangel Michael informs her that she is not being healed just to relieve her symptoms. You are healing in order to carry a larger amount. She then asserts that emotional boundaries are organically developing. You no longer ingest things that are not yours. Others' worries, chaos, and projections keep you from connecting with your inner world. This demonstrates that you are mature and not tough. A cautious heart isn't cold. It's prudent. One's perception of time is also altered. Currently, the sensation of rushing and compulsion is oppressive. You are gaining the ability to navigate with discernment rather than haste. Archangel Michael claims that discernment stems from trust, whereas urgency is frequently caused by fear. This modification will independently protect your health and wealth in the future. Financial alignment is also becoming clearer. Suddenly, you may become aware of the areas where your time, money, or energy are being wasted. You should have no remorse for acknowledging this. It is meant to release you. Before elevating you, God refines your stewardship. You recognize the significance of the items you carry. Some of you will notice that certain desires are diminishing. Things that once gave you joy are no longer effective. A refinement, not a loss. God is removing the cravings that would have kept you from doing what makes you happy. The greater purpose becomes apparent when you relinquish smaller desires, advises Archangel Michael. Do not be surprised if people from your past contact you during this phase. This frequently occurs immediately before elevation. Your old connections can tell you whether you have truly matured from your previous habits. It is unnecessary to revisit matters that God has already resolved. Instead of engaging in a discussion, it is sometimes necessary to make a decision in order to reach a conclusion. Your prayers are evolving spiritually. Not so much for assistance, but for alignment. Signs are less important than strength. This is evidence of development. When received from adults, prayers are immediately heard by heaven. Remain silent in order to understand the significance of Archangel Michael. Your silence gives others more power. When delivered at the right time, your words will have a big impact. People will pay attention. Opportunities will emerge. Because you learn to keep quiet before you learn to speak up. You may continue to have moments of uncertainty. This does not preclude you. Doubt does not imply that one lacks faith. In reality, it may lead to an increase in trust. When in doubt, avoid excessive resistance. Accept it and then return to the actions that you know God has already taken on your behalf. Please keep this in mind. Movement does not always indicate progress. Making progress gives you a sense of stability. Before we proceed, let's take a moment to align ourselves. It is not a sign of weakness to feel calm, secure, and in control. It is fortitude. Continue to be stationary. Stay grateful. Follow the instructions provided. The events that follow will show that this season is more than just a fleeting moment, but rather the foundation for the years to come. It is now time for my chosen one, Archangel Michael, to talk about endurance. This is the point at which stability turns to identity. Many people have breakthroughs. However, few are able to sustain them without losing their identity. Currently, God is teaching you how to maintain a sense of stability despite the additional weight you are carrying. It is possible that this phase is more peaceful than the previous ones. However, this does not mean that nothing is happening. Heaven is establishing patterns. Your schedule is evolving. Your responses are improving, and tasks that used to require effort are now completed effortlessly. Peace is now something you protect rather than pursue, indicating your maturity. A new pattern is currently influencing your health. Instead of fluctuations, there are steady highs and lows. You may still experience fatigue on occasion, but it is less distressing. Your body is currently communicating with you in a clear and audible way. You are aware of the proper times to rest and move. According to Archangel Michael, this awareness is part of divine intelligence returning to you. Many people ignore their physical well-being until an incident occurs that demands their attention. However, you are gaining knowledge prior to an incident, which is an indication of wisdom. Discretion is now required in previously stressful situations. When you respond, you pause. You think carefully before making a decision. This pause is significant because it is when God communicates most clearly. Making hasty decisions deprives one of blessings, whereas deliberate decisions increase them. This is a period of fiscal consolidation. Currently, the focus is not solely on growth. Certain endeavors involve fortifying what is already there. Gaps are being identified as things start to come together. You may be forced to reconsider, organize, or change your plans. This is referred to as reinforcement rather than delay. According to Archangel Michael, the current strengthening will allow for future expansion without the risk of collapse. You may find it beneficial to revert to your previous behaviors on occasion, especially when under stress. That is acceptable, because growth does not erase memories. However, track the progression of your response. Before the pattern takes hold, you are aware of it, which demonstrates your progress. It is also beneficial to establish a clear understanding of relationships at this point. You can now distinguish between those who deplete you and those who tell you the truth. Although you may not take action on every realization, you now have a better understanding of the situation. Clarity discourages you from acting quickly. It desires that you be prudent. Archangel Michael tells you that maintenance is sacred. Many people disregard their current miracles in favor of seeking new ones. However, you are learning to maintain the resources that God has bestowed upon you, and heaven values this type of stewardship. If the progress appears to be less exciting at this time, it is best to take it easy. Destiny does not require excitement. The most remarkable things in the world are frequently a calm mind, a steady body, and a clear goal. It is impossible to buy or force these alignment indicators to manifest. You may notice that your communication style is evolving. Despite the fact that you speak less frequently, your words are more meaningful when you do. You're more attentive. Quietness no longer feels awkward. It is currently experiencing an intense sensation. According to Archangel Michael, people who are secure do not need to be in a noisy environment. People are also becoming more confident in the accuracy of timing. You do not have an immediate need for results. You are aware that events that unfold gradually typically last for a long time. This isn't passive patience. Trust is something you can act on. Do not interpret boredom or restlessness as signs of failure. After long periods of survival, the soul needs time to adjust to tranquility. Peace may appear unfamiliar at first, so give yourself some time to adjust. Consistency in the unseen is also an issue during this stage. Even when no one is applauding, do what brings you joy, as God perceives what others do not. Archangel Michael claims that the unseen work you're currently doing is simplifying the future. Remember that your goal is not to impress anyone, but to remain compliant. When things are going well, comparison will try to infiltrate your life. Resist it. Your journey is distinctive. Take a deep breath and process this reality. Your journey doesn't end with stability. It is the location from which you will take on greater responsibility. God creates platforms in a discreet manner. You are having more success than you anticipate. You are now developing the ability to manage the things for which you previously prayed in order to sustain your life. Maintain your faith in the mundane, your discipline in the peaceful, and your gratitude in the consistent. The following message from Archangel Michael will help you recognize the impending expansion while also maintaining the balance that you have worked so hard to achieve. Archangel Michael, my beloved, now talks about the importance of recognizing and restraining oneself, as this is the point at which visibility begins to increase. Fruit cannot remain underground indefinitely, so it is no longer possible to conceal what was previously hidden. This season is especially challenging, so it is best to prioritize peace over excitement. You may have noticed that people are currently responding to you in a different way. When you enter a room, the tone of the conversation changes, and your words appear to be more important. Some will ask about your thoughts, while others will simply observe you. This is not an accident. It's an influence. Ego is not granted authority. According to Archangel Michael, it is given as a symbol of accountability. At this point, it is critical to strike a healthy balance. You have more strength, however, you must learn to apply it. If you are not cautious, an excessive level of dedication could jeopardize your advancement. Acquire the ability to decline requests without explanation. You are not obligated to meet expectations that God has not set for you, because preservation is as sacred as productivity. This is the point at which confidence must be emotionally grounded in humility. Faith in God is stable. Faith in the approval of others is unstable. As a result, try to remain grounded in reality rather than reacting to it. Praise can be just as distracting as criticism if it becomes your source. Now, the chances of financial success may be improving. Discrimination is necessary because some people will agree while others will only appear attractive. Archangel Michael advises us not to confuse momentum and authorization. Pray before making a decision, because peace will always support what logic cannot. It may be tempting to speed up the process, especially if you can see tangible progress, but resist the urge. Rushing frequently causes stress in the future because expansion is prioritized over structure. God is always punctual and never late. You must also maintain your discipline during this phase. There is no need for additional effort. Maintain consistency in your connection, prayer, reflection, and expression of gratitude. These are no longer just emergency tools. They serve as the basis for responsible stewardship. The amount you can carry in the future will be determined by the amount you maintain in the present. It is critical to understand that not everyone who supports you is aware of the difficulties you have faced. They are only aware of the results, not the costs, and you are not required to instruct them. Allow your life to be a voice of reason. Silence remains your ally. Pause for a moment. Now is the time to engage on purpose, provided that this message resonates with your life. Distribute this message to people who are silently dealing with the same issue. Distribute it to someone who needs help without being observed. Submitting a comment is permissible as a straightforward declaration of faith. If you haven't already, please subscribe to stay up to date. The current event is part of a larger sequence that is meant to be experienced in its entirety. You're not concerned with numerical values. It is related to consensus. This participation enables you to align with the message that God is releasing. In addition, this season features a more subtle examination. The consistency test. When faced with adversity, many people pursue God with zeal. However, they stop doing so when things improve. Archangel Michael advises against taking this course of action. You express gratitude rather than fear. Please maintain your connection. If you notice that your intuition is becoming more acute at this time, believe it. When something does not feel right, pause and then proceed steadily. This inner guidance should be treated as a gift. During this stage, comparison may try to resurface, especially if you see others making rapid progress. It is important to remember that fasting does not always imply faithfulness. Planned work is the cornerstone of durability. You're not trailing. You're already in the lead. If you start to feel impatient, think about how far you've come and how much silence and chaos you've experienced. Your prayers have been answered with stability. If you notice this stability establishing itself in your life, make a bold statement in the comments section. I am steady, protected, and aligned. This phase is not meant to draw any conclusions. The goal is to sustain all aspects. Individuals capable of perseverance, according to Archangel Michael, can be trusted with greater responsibilities. Before proceeding to the next message, it is critical that you understand the following. The following revelation is not about obtaining anything. It is about safeguarding the future. A large number of people have failed in this regard. You plan to remain in your current location. Stay focused on your goals. Be grateful and believe in the process. The promise is protected for an extended period of time by subsequent events that establish a link to the future. Archangel Michael, my chosen one, now speaks with weight and comfort as this stage pertains to inheritance. Not what you gain for a short time, but what endures and grows beyond your control. At this point, many people misinterpret God's work. They perceive blessings as an event, whereas heaven sees them as a system, a way of life that provides happiness, health, and sustenance over time. You are currently developing the ability to live without constantly feeling overwhelmed. You made long-term decisions based on survival mode. Despite the fact that things were going well, you prepared for disappointment, dealt with stress, and planned around fear. That mode is disintegrating. According to Archangel Michael, one of the most obvious signs of the beginning of healing is when the mind stops picturing negative events and the future becomes clear on its own. This transformation is reflected in your physical form. Healing is no longer desired. It is a matter that you keep. You no longer exert yourself to prove your worth because you are aware of your limitations and value the energy you possess. Wisdom-derived strength lasts longer than fear-derived strength, and this balance is what will ensure your future safety. You're moving into an emotional state of self-trust. There is no longer any need to second-guess your decisions. You reflect on the situation, pray, and then proceed calmly. Despite the lack of clarity, your internal world remains consistent. This level of stability is extremely uncommon. It is acquired through obedience and patience rather than having a specific personality. This phase defines value in monetary terms. You're no longer impressed by a person's appearance. You investigate the substance, ask more probing questions, and focus on the long-term consequences rather than the immediate benefits. This discernment, according to Archangel Michael, will keep you from falling into the same pitfalls as others. Sometimes the past tries to resurface in the form of old fears, stories, or identities. This does not mean you are regressing. It simply means that those items are losing significance and are making one last effort to maintain a connection. Avoid fighting with them. Do not allow them to re-enter. Concurrently, there is a period of internal leadership. You are currently prioritizing your own well-being. It is unnecessary to always be motivated. Discipline and a sense of purpose are sufficient, because individuals who are incapable of leading themselves are incapable of stewarding growth. This self-leadership allows God to entrust you with influence in the future. Archangel Michael has asked that you note the changes in your responses that have occurred since your previous encounters. You pause in the same spot where you were scared before. You are currently anticipating solutions rather than actively seeking them. You used to be overly talkative, but you've learned to accept other people's silence. These changes are substantial. Their significance is enormous. It's possible that your sense of accountability will improve. It may not be particularly heavy, but it can cause feelings of sobriety. You understand that the items you carry are important to more than just yourself. Your peace influences others, and your stability promotes safety for those around you. This is part of your calling. Do not confuse this maturity with seriousness. Regardless of the circumstances, joy will return in unexpected and profound ways. Even when life is peaceful, Archangel Michael maintains that profound joy exists. Although it does not appear as dramatic as other times of the year, this phase is far more powerful. The foundation remains intact as the drama fades. Initially, God lays the foundation. Later, He establishes a legacy. Consider the possibility of being grateful if you ever face uncertainty during this time. When you are grateful, you can stand on the basis of reality rather than fear, and it serves as a reminder that your prayers have already been heard. Soon, you'll realize that what was once unthinkable has become routine. However, the loss of wonder is not caused by realization. It provides proof of transformation. The presence of heaven has made happiness the norm in your life. There is no need to seek additional confirmations. As an alternative, you should be satisfied with the information that you already know is correct. Contentment has no negative impact on growth. Archangel Michael claims that it helps to stabilize it. As this message comes to a close, try to understand it better. You have not reached the conclusion. You are at the point of transitioning from responsibility to legacy. Maintaining the quality of your possessions will ensure that they last for an extended period of time, far exceeding the season. Maintain humility, attention, and a sense of stability. The events that follow will encapsulate everything you have learned and show how this divine secret transforms into an everlasting barrier that protects your life. My beloved child, the time for sealing has arrived. Archangel Michael stands firm at this point, not to warn or prepare, but to confirm. The information that was previously communicated in whispers has now been confirmed, and the information that was kept confidential has been permanently preserved. At this point, the divine secret is no longer viewed as fragile because it is an essential part of your identity. You've already started to live a different life. You are not waiting for authorization to proceed. Peace has established itself and is no longer a fleeting presence. It is no longer possible to borrow strength. It has now been founded. Once you've established alignment, wealth will attract you rather than demand that you pursue it. According to Archangel Michael, this is the reward for long-term good behavior. The reason for being cautious about this blessing was not its fragility, but its holy nature. The only people who can trust sacred objects are those who can transport them without getting dirty, as they are never rushed or exposed without care. Your health now depends on awareness rather than stress. You have confidence in your body, can rest without discomfort, and move with purpose. This equilibrium is exquisite. Many people experience physical improvement, but their habits remain disrupted. You have been immobilized in layers, which is why this healing will last. You are no longer bound by the constraints of scarcity or impulse in relation to money. You can think clearly, make decisions without feeling agitated, and see beyond the present. Archangel Michael claims that this clarity will shield you from losses that others will not expect. You will not be required to recognize your accomplishments. It will speak for itself with its stability. You're no longer prone to emotional instability. Although you feel a lot of emotions, they do not shape the course of your life. You are concerned, but it isn't taking over your life. You are in love, but not exhausted. Please subscribe now if you haven't already, as a show of solidarity. This will keep you informed about the timing of God's prophetic promises in your life. This emotional sovereignty is one of the most important blessings that heaven can provide. Now, fully comprehend this truth. The confidentiality that was required of you was not intended to perpetuate your isolation. It was intended to help you mature. Wisdom, rather than impulsivity, discernment, excitement, authority, or fear, will now drive your speech and actions. Your life has become a covering, says Archangel Michael. What once required protection is now self-protective. When people are around you, they will feel safe and relaxed. This is leadership without fanfare, influence without effort. Because that is the nature of life. There will always be challenges, but they will no longer define you. Rather, they will help you improve. Storms are unlikely to catch you off guard. Currently, you are in this location. This is the definition of the term used at the beginning: spiritually, emotionally, and mentally healthy, wealthy, and secure. Please treat this final activation with utmost respect. If you have a thorough understanding of this term, please share it in the comments, as it will be permanently preserved. The blessing code 10-2018 has been sent to you. This final invitation comes directly from the Spirit, marking the end of this phase of the journey. You understand that this message was never intended solely for you, as divine protection has now been placed over your life. Contributing to this cause protects the confidentiality of those who remain hopeful. As you go through this awakening, remember that your assistance with this endeavor is not a hoax. It's a heavenly omen. Each seed evolves into a source of light, combating the existence of darkness. Jesus claims that by giving water to others, you will receive it yourself. This isn't historical. It is an ongoing commitment to your future. Approach this situation with a strategy and faith. Giving can help you realize the potential that God has already built for your life. Maintain your composure. Maintain your modesty. Maintain your cover. Before you leave, please forward this message to at least one person who needs motivation. When you speak this prophetic word into the life of another, heaven blesses you with new anointing and breakthrough. This divine secret is safely in your possession. I'd like you to perform a prophetic act before we wrap up, not out of habit, but out of faith. To connect with me, simply click on this video. Your consent begins the flow of God's favor over your life, as you believe that heaven is currently releasing new grace, clarity, and divine momentum in your direction. Before we wrap up this captivating story, I recommend that we take a moment to reflect on this deep reality. This message was not discovered coincidentally. This is not just a coincidence. This is Archangel Michael's direct message to you. He extends his hand and invites you to a high-vibrational, protected community where divine abundance is more than a hope, but a promise. This spiritual idea is quite simple. Nonetheless, it has the capacity to transform your entire life. You will not just gain blessings if you follow it. They will multiply and permeate all aspects of your existence. Accepting this invitation grants you immediate, early access to potent content and heavenly insights that are now unavailable to the broader public. You now have the opportunity to enter a sacred space where you will receive unwavering support, spiritual guidance, and rapid progress toward your goal. Do not miss out on this historic opportunity. Your triumph is near. However, your vigor, presence, and attentiveness are already extremely valued. Action is required. Your abundance is ready. Pay close attention, my dearest child, because this message is not intended for all recipients. It was whispered right to you. Archangel Michael is currently standing beside you, sword lowered and wings open, waiting to see if you will accept this in silence and faith. A divine shift is taking place today. This is an impossible scenario. This serves as confirmation. What you are about to enter is a place of power, protection, and promise. However, there is a warning that you must not ignore. Pay close attention. You are the chosen one at this time, not because you are better than others, but because your spirit has been tested, refined, and ready. According to Archangel Michael, you are on the verge of achieving health and wealth, not only financially, but also in terms of divine alignment, clarity, peace, and strength. Your mind will be elevated, your body will respond to heaven, and your resources will multiply. However, this blessing is fragile in its early stages, much like a flame that must be shielded from the wind. This is why the warning is clear. If you reveal it to anyone too soon, you risk losing everything. This is not a matter of fear, dear one, but of wisdom. This is because not everyone applauds when you ascend, and not everyone prays for your healing. Archangel Michael reveals that silence is your shield at this time, and some people smile while secretly questioning what God is doing to you. It is critical to protect the unseen structure that God is building until it is completely established. Today marks the start of a divine window through which your health begins to realign. Long-term fatigue, stress, and heaviness fade, and your body receives instructions from heaven on how to heal, restore, and renew. Some of you may notice minor changes, such as better sleep, clearer thoughts, sudden motivation, or a resurgence of strength. Avoid discussing or questioning it. Instead, quietly absorb it. At the same time, wealth is being deposited, not rushed, stolen, or coerced, but deposited. Chances will begin to manifest, concepts will become clearer, and previously closed doors will appear to be unlocked. However, Archangel Michael warns that the enemy is very aware when blessings are spoken prematurely. As a result, at this time, discretion is the best course of action. My child, understand this reality. Not everyone requires knowledge of God's promises. For example, Jesus kept his silence before his breakthrough moments, and David was sworn in as king, but remained silent. Silence does not postpone the blessing. Instead, it protects it. At the moment, I encourage you to enshrine this word in faith as your spirit resonates with it. Typing Amen in the comments section confirms that you agree with the divine plan for your life and protection. Archangel Michael promises that if you follow this divine secret, your blessing will be secure indefinitely. This does not imply isolation. Rather, it indicates discernment. However, avoid hurling this pearl at people who are unable to bear its weight. Talk to God, talk to the heavens, and pray. This message is accompanied by a straightforward but effective assessment. Do you have enough faith in God to stay silent? In addition, can you resist the urge to explain, demonstrate, or declare? Individuals who pass this exam move quickly up the favoritism hierarchy, whereas those who fail frequently face excessively long wait times. You may have already sensed it, a joy too sacred to publicly express, a mix of caution and excitement. The Holy Spirit is confirming his statement through that sensation. Your healing will not be accompanied by noise or disorder, but by divine timing, peace, and order. Heaven will alert you to the appropriate time to speak through results rather than words. Archangel Michael is currently close to you, ensuring that what is rightfully yours is protected before you even realize it. Keep your feet on the ground, be grateful, and act in accordance with your faith until then. Drink water on purpose, take breaks when your body tells you to, and push yourself in your current endeavors, because even the smallest acts of obedience